Good morning. I'm going to show you how to make the 5x7 version of this ornament, this candy cane ornament. This is the 4x4 version. There's two hoopings to it. Obviously the candy canes in one and the holly in the other. So I'm going to stitch out the 5x7 version, and I'm going to start with the candy cane version, the candy cane file. So I've got cutaway stabilizer hooped, and I'm going to stitch out the first color change, which is the design placement. Okay, so this is the first color change, and you're going to stitch it directly on the stabilizer. And then I'm using vinyl to as the base for my ornament. I think vinyl is a little bit more sturdier, but you could certainly use felt or anything that doesn't fray. So I'm going to just make sure that this will cover it. It does. Okay, so my vinyl is going to cover the placement line, just like that. This vinyl has kind of a felted backing on it, so it doesn't slide. If it didn't, I would use painter's tape to secure it, but I think I should be good to go. So the next color change is going to be the placement line for the candy cane. So I'll stitch that out. Okay, that is the placement line for whatever you're going to use for the candy cane. And this center part is going to be cut out as well, because then the backing shows through. So I just need to double check that my felt is going to fit this. And it will. You can use felt, you can use fabric. Just be aware that fabric is going to fray on the edges, unless you use something like Steam-A-Seam 2, which will prevent that. But if you like the frayed look, you can use fabric, you can use vinyl, you can use felt. Okay, so now the next color change it's going to attach the felt to the ornament. Okay, now I'm going to take my applique scissors and cut around the heart, and then very carefully go in and clip just the felt, leaving the vinyl underneath it. Okay, you just want to trim close to the stitches without cutting into them. There we go. Okay, and then for the center, I find it's easier just to use a pair of nippers and kind of clip gently into the felt to get it started without going through to the vinyl. Then once your hole is big enough, then you can get your scissors in there. And then carefully cut away the felt. Little applique scissors work the best because they're small, but you could definitely use other small scissors. You just need to be very, very careful not to clip into the stitches. Otherwise the heart will not be secure. Okay. Like I said, you don't have to be real close to the line like you would if you had a satin applique, because the bean stitch applique is your final stitch, so you just want it to look good. Okay, let me throw that away. Alright, so the next color change is going to put the candy cane lines in there, and it takes a couple minutes, I think. Let me see. It takes about 15 minutes, so I'm going to get it started and then turn off the camera and come back and show you when it's done. Okay, then I'll come back and show you when it's done. Okay, so there's the candy cane lines, and I forgot to stop my machine, but the next color change is the grommet placement. And then the final stitch is going to attach the backing to the front. So you want to cover the design with your backing material. I just trim these edges that are these extra long threads here. There we go. So you want to secure the backing in place, either by pins or by tape. Just like that. Turn over, make sure everything is secure. Okay, reattach the hoop, and then the final stitch will attach the backing to the front. Okay, and before I exit out of the design completely, just double check the backing to make sure everything is secured. It is. So I'm going to remove the tape, unhoop, my tape ran over, or got run over I should say. I'll have to pull that out. There we go. And there we go, there's the first part of the design done. Okay, now I'm going to go cut this out and then I'll come back and we'll stitch out the second part. Okay, this is going to be the second part of the candy cane ornament, which is the holly up on top. So this is the 5x7 version, so I've got cutaway stabilizer hoops and I've got my design loaded. And the first color change is going to be the placement line for the vinyl. So I will stitch that out. Okay, there's the placement line. I'm using the same color vinyl that I did on the candy cane design. You certainly don't have to. Just want to make sure this is the right size. Okay, this vinyl, like I said, has a felt backing on it, so I'm not going to secure it down. Otherwise I would with tape. Okay, the second color change is going to be the placement line for the felt. Okay, and then I want to cover my placement line with felt. I don't know if this piece is big enough. Oh, yeah, it will. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm going to tape this down just a little bit just to keep it from moving. And the third color change is going to attach the felt to the vinyl. Okay, now I'm going to trim away the felt close to the stitching, but not into the stitching. Tiny cuts to get it close, but not into the stitching. Okay, just like that. Now the next color change is going to put the green centers of the holly in. Okay, there's the center of the holly. Now the next color change is going to put the 3 holly berries on it. Okay. The next color change is going to put the 2 grommet placements right here and here. Okay, the next color change is going to secure the backing onto the holly. So you flip the hoop over, place your backing over your stitching, make sure it's all covered. Secure in place with either tape or pins. And then make sure your hoop is in the right direction. That's why this is exactly why I put an arrow on my hoop, so that the arrow means goes towards the back, because I would have just put this in upside down. And then run the final color change, and that will attach the backing to the front. Okay, and before I exit out of the design, I'm going to just double check the backing, and it is correct. So there is the holly. Now I'm going to just unhoop this, and then I will cut it out and come back and show you how to put the design together. Let me just unhoop. And there we go. So I'm just going to cut this out, and then I'll be right back and show you how to put the design together. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so just to recap, we are going to put together the 5x7 version of this 2-piece candy cane and holly ornament. So I've got my pieces that I've stitched out, and I'm going to punch out the grommet holes and install the grommets. And okay, this is the little cheat that I do. I take a marker and put a center point in my grommet holes, because what I use to make the holes is my crocodile, and it has a little window, and if I put the center point in the little window, I can see it very clearly. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can see it. and then punch down, and I know that my placement is perfectly in the center. Oh, something was lying on the floor. So, okay. And then I just come in with nippers and clean up the threads a little bit. So I'm going to do the same for the holly part. Try to get it centered as much as possible. Okay, and then I use the 2-part grommets. They're 3/16 inch 2-part grommets. I like the 2-part ones because I think that they are a little bit more stable on vinyl stuff. The 1-piece ones work perfectly fine. I think I'm going to use... Okay, so my ball chain is silver. I think I'm going to use the gunmetal ones. Okay, so I need 3 of them. And 3 backs. Okay, so to install a grommet using a crocodile, very simple. You put the front part of the grommet through the hole, and then I usually take my nails and kind of push it down, just like that. Okay, and then you put the backing on the back, and then keeping the backing up so that it doesn't fall off. You crimp it with the crocodile, just like that. Also, it takes very little effort. Okay, there's the first one. I'll go ahead and do the other 2. There are other ways to install these grommets. This just works well for me. I already had a crocodile from my scrapbooking days, and I love it. I have the hand press one as well. This one works better for my hands because I have carpal tunnel, and I don't have to squeeze very hard, but it's whatever works best for you. The grommet sets usually come with a thing that you use with a hammer. It has a little anvil and a little cutter with it. I've never used it personally because I have a crocodile, but that's what some people use exclusively. So, okay, and then I'm just going to set this stuff to the side. Okay, now to attach the 2 pieces together, you could use string or twine or ribbon or wire or whatever you want to use. I'm using the little ball chains. I think it's cute, but they're a little too big, so I am going to measure what I want to use. Putting the 2 pieces together and then kind of figuring out the size I really want, like that. So I need to cut off about that much. Somewhere in my office I have a nice pair of wire cutters This is just a little cheap pair, so it really takes quite a bit of effort to use them. But it was all I could find right now. There we go. And then just double check the length of it. I can't remember what these are called exactly, what the chains are called, but I order them from Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description of the video along with in the instructions so you can see what they are. Okay, there we go. That's a good size. Okay. Alright. Normally if the piece was longer I would save it, but this is pretty little. I can't imagine what I'd use it for, so I'm going to pitch it. Now to make the hanger, you can use jute, you can use string, you can use yarn, you can use wire, you can use chain, whatever you want. I like to use 2 pieces of cording, and I make them both about a foot long. And then I take both ends, put them together, take a small piece of painter's tape, and sandwich together, and then twist it, and I use that as like a needle. Very simple. Then I take my pieces and separate them, and then I use this like a needle and go in through the back and come right around the hole and pull. Okay, so it's nice and tight on there. And then I take whatever beads I use. If I'm doing a 4x4 ornament, I use 2 beads. If I'm doing a 5x7, I use 3. That's just my personal preference. I'm gonna go a solid bead first. And my other 2 candy cane looking beads. Okay. Once I get my beads on, I make another square knot and try to get the knot close to the beads so that it kind of keeps them in place. And then I finish it off by making another square knot a couple inches up. That's what I'm going to use as my hanger on my tree. And then pull it tight, and then I just snip the tape end off. And sometimes I fray the ends just because I think it looks cute. Naturally they'll fray on their own. And there we go. There's my hanger. There's the 5x7 design. Obviously once it's hanging up it won't twist. But you can see the difference between the 5x7 size and the 4x4 size. Oops. Okay. One would look cute on a tree, one would look cute on a wall, or on the tree, whatever, if you have a big tree. So, there you go. There's that ornament. Hope you like it.